السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم. أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So today we have with us Brother Bashir and Brother Awais. Brother Awais from Australia and Brother Bashir from the west coast of the United States. And then we have me. I'm obviously here. And tonight we wanted to have a chat about a certain pay structure which is found in the Ahmadiyya community. Um, which some of us refer to as the Qadianis, some refer to as the Ahmadis, so on and so forth. And this special pay structure is very interesting. It funds a lot of their projects, but at the same time, a lot of the money goes to places where we don't know, or they don't even know. What really brought this on is last week a brother by the name of Adnan Rashid, who has been debating with the Ahmadis for quite some time now. He posted a flyer on Twitter where he's taking a tour and he's taking some people to show them Islamic Spain. And it's fairly reasonable as far as the price goes, but the Ahmadis were very upset about that. They were like, "Oh, you're trying to make money off of the people and this and that." And if somebody takes you as a tour guide, they're trying to show you places. They normally charge for that. It's a very normal thing. So they started commenting, and some of us, I guess, jumped in because we were like, okay, what's wrong with this? There's nothing wrong with this. Everybody charges um, for tours. That's a normal thing. And they're giving you knowledge, they're giving you experience, they're taking care of your accommodation and everything. But anyway, it kept the conversation kept going forward and forward, and a lot of the Ahmadis were like, they started accusing us of things. Started calling us zindiq, people who are heretic or off of the deen and stuff like that. Then one of them referred to me today as a terrorist, and then yeah, one of them referred to me as a terrorist, and then Brother Bashir's brother managed to jump in yesterday, and I offered to correct his Quran recitation and mistakes, and he didn't take me up on the offer. I'm very disappointed by that. I thought he'd at least take me up on the offer, but he didn't. And then he was upset that no one joins the stream. So we offered to join the stream, and I said I don't want to debate you. I'll just join you for some chai and samosa. But he was like, okay. He didn't really show me any love, so I'm feeling neglected by the Shah family. But today, so what happened is I went on their websites of Chanda, and how they collected, and they have a whole like sort of like a platform, an online platform, and I'd like to show one of them right now if I can, and then inshallah I'll get the other brothers in as well. I just want to sort of lay a premise of why what's happening is happening. And you know this, let's see here, let me present, share screen, share screen. Scroll down. Okay. So this is basically from the official Ahmadiyya website. This is budget amchq.us fact. What is Lazmi Chanda Jat and paid on long-term holdings? That's zakat. And then for non-Musi is 1/16, 6.25 of take-home income. And wasiyat for a Musi, which Bashir explained to me what it is the other day. I didn't even know what it was. 1/10 or 1/3, depending on the will.
No,
This
no,
is from
it's 1/10 monthly, and then an additional 1/3 when you die.
Okay, and then Jalsa Salana, you give one of 120th of your take home income, which is that's interesting. Um, then there's a lot of questions. Uh, what can I deduct from my gross income? They say you can deduct Medicare and healthcare insurance and everything. Then is Chanda Salana just as important as Chanda Am? Yes, it is. Oh, this one was the one I loved. Um, do students and part-time jobs have to pay? Yes, you have to pay. Uh, can I? Oh, this one was my favorite question. As like a joke. Can I deduct my home mortgage? No. And my expenses are such that I don't have money left over for chanda. What should I do? Financial sacrifice is the jihad of the age and greatly needed. Therefore, all men and women should endeavor to make their life simpler and reduce their expenses. This means if you have to take less showers, please do, so that whenever Allah calls for sacrifice, they should be ready. And then can I automate my chanda? They're always willing to take money. There's this, and then there's another platform. So but I want Awais and Bashir to sort of lay out what the deal with chanda, right? I'm not as knowledgeable as them on this topic. But going through their websites, going through everything, it seems as though that it's an obligation. Although a lot of Ahmadiyya were like, "Oh no, well, if you can't afford to pay it, you won't pay it." And then there's also a lot of passages from their books which say that their Khalifa says that if somebody refuses to pay it, we can kick them out of the Jamaat. So Bashir, what is Chanda? Having been an Ahmadi in many years ago, what is Chanda? How does it work? And then obviously you told us about Musi, non-Musi. What is a Musi?
Yeah. So chanda, the only Islamic category it falls under is sadaqah. It doesn't fall under zakat. Even
Okay.
though they created apparently a category of zakat, but no one pays it. It's not that big a deal. But so it's all sadaqah. And Mirza Ghulam Ahmad never set these rates. 6.25%, he never set that. He never set no wasiyat rate. The only rate of wasiyat he said was up to one third of your when you. But that's in the hadith. That's in the Sahih hadith. Um, and there's a lot of other conditions because look, if you have 10 kids and you're giving away some of your property to sadaqah, it's like you know what I mean. There could be a problem there, so you would have to go and get a ruling maybe or something, right? Um, if it's a complicated matter as such. So anyhow, the second Qadiani Khalifa came along, Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud Ahmad. He set it at 6.25% a month, which was 1/16th of an anna, I think, or 1/16th of a rupee. They used to break him into sixteenths. So he was like, just give me one of those units, and then at some point, Wasiyat started to be 10% monthly, and then they kept coming up with new stuff. Like in the 1930s, that they invented something called Tariq Jadid, where it's like, what is that? Well, it's to fund missionaries. Well, I thought we were already doing that with. I thought Chanda Am funded the missionaries. Now you're creating a separate thing for the missionaries. I thought they were already included. So they come up with that one. Then they're like, you know what? We're gonna break you guys in up into in auxiliary. If you're between 15 and 40, you're gonna be Hadam al Ahmadiyya, and now you got to pay another chanda with them. Oh, and if you're over 40, you're an Ansar Allah. You got to pay another chanda with them. If you're under 15, you're a Tfal. Women got their own categories. So now you're paying chanda am, which is regular, and now depending on your age, you're part of another organization within the organization, and you got to pay there. So they keep inventing new stuff, bro. So look, if you didn't pay your Hadam Chanda, you couldn't play in any of the sports. So look, I'm sure Hurm's watching. Hurm used to get hella mad because I wouldn't pay, but then just to play, I'd pay the minimum for the 6 months. They make you pay 6 months in arrears. Look at these snakes, brother. Have you ever heard of anything like this? They make you can't just pay the current month and now you're current. They're like, no, pay 6 months back, and then you're current.
Come on, Bashir, you're an accounting professor. Back taxes.
They're like, you start paying like that. So now they're getting you for that. Then there's a Jalsa. You want to go to the Jalsa, or do you go to the? It doesn't matter. You still got to pay. They're
So, you,
like,
so you're obligated to pay the Jalsa amount whether you go or not.
whether you go or not, and so that one they'll come after you. So I've never experienced this. There's no finance secretary at the local masjid that I go to, or any masjid that I went to, who goes around asking people if they paid or not. I've never seen anything like it. There's a box. They might pass it around. There might be a special fund. Hey, something's going on. We need money now. Whatever. The masjid that where I'm at, we're trying to build a masjid. Because it's a complicated story. It's a complicated story, like they mostly are. So anyhow, but at my local masjid, Sunni masjid, once we get the masjid paid off, we don't really need a lot of money, because everything's now cheap. So once you get over that hurdle, you're fine. You're good to go. But if you're a Qadiani Amdi, it's never over. It's never over. So say you want to build a mosque now, or a temple. I'm sorry. Say you're a Qadiani and you want to build a temple. You got to create a separate mosque fund. Well, it's like, but where's all this money going? all the money that we're paying in Chanda Am, okay, so the Majlis Salam Al Ahmadiyya only goes to that department and its activities. Okay, Jalsalana only goes, okay, so now building the temple is separate. Okay, and you can't not make these payments and then have a separate fund going. They won't allow it. The first amount of money got to go to Chanda Am, right? You can't neglect Chanda Am and then pay the temple fund. You see what I mean? Because someone could hypothetically come in and say, no, all the money we got, we're gonna move it to the temple fund. They don't allow for that. They'd be fired the same day. So
But I mean, you're not allowed to really question that, though. Is
I'm
that
sorry.
correct? I'd say you're not really allowed to question that, though.
Oh no, no, no. If you start asking questions, bro, it's a problem. They'll start telling everyone so and so is asking questions. They'll start spreading. The backbiting will start. Hey, so and so is asking questions. It doesn't matter what. You know what I mean. It doesn't matter what. Somebody's asking questions about the finances and etc.
So you said the USA what's it called, entity of Ahmadiyya, they don't have financial statements public, and you know there's something called Charity Navigator, which most charity entities and organizations use to prove their authenticity and how good they are. The Ahmadi Jamaat is not on there. Most major charity organizations are on there, and they have all of their stats on there. They have their 990s on there, who gets paid how much the CEO makes, and everything. But the Ahmadiyya do not, what's it called, do not have that on there. Now you said that the Canadian and the UK Jamaat, they have their statistics on there, which you've shared before, and I think you've shared them on my podcast even. And what does their sort of liquidity, what does their sort of situation look like?
Well, let's pull it up. I put it in the YouTube chat. It's in the YouTube comments.
Okay.
So it depends on where you want to start. Do you want to start with Canada and the balance sheet, or
Sure. Let's just take a look, and if you can walk us through it. Awais, is there anything you'd like to interject or anything you'd like to say?
Yeah. So there's a lot of things which you said about the historical part. So I will be mostly entertaining, inshallah, the historical aspect about what Mirza Ghulam Ahmad himself said in respect of Chanda, what was his income, and how he evaded the tax at that time, and then he complained about the. This one I'm talking about Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. Yeah. So he also threatened the people of his Jamaat to pay the chanda. If they don't pay, there's going to be consequences like um, they will be kicked out of the Jamaat. And I have the excerpts, so I will be sharing them lately with you after Bashir presents his presentation. Um, yeah, and then Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud, he continued his father's legacy and he basically threatened people to pay. And Bashir talked about Tariq Jadid. Yeah, Mirza Bashir, he made this comment: if you paid uh, the sadaqah, the chanda for 1 year, 2 year, and 3 years, so Tariq Jadid was basically 3 years. You have to pay this extra sadaqah, extra chanda for 3 years in a row. And if you pay for, let's say, 2 years, and in the last year you fail to pay that, you are not a mu'min. So, and he actually called them khabis. Yeah. Like it's a very rough term, because Qadianis yesterday on Twitter, they were fighting with us that it's not obligatory, it's not something like that. And this guy you call Muslim Maud, and he's saying if you basically don't pay chanda, you are khabis. Yeah, I mean the totally out of Ahmadi Jamaat, because according to them, Ahmadi Jamaat can't be khabis. Yeah, and this is his words. Like I'm not adding my own words. And then he said these people who don't pay, they will become apostates one day. So Asad Bhai remembers yesterday, these guys are coming like, we don't consider you kafir, yeah. So this guy is saying, even if you are Ahmadi and you don't pay the chanda, you will become murtad one day, yeah. And they were saying, we as like with non-Ahmadis, non-Qadianis, we are not murtad, we are not like they consider us Muslims. It's all just uh, twisting and bending the words for them. And yeah, I don't want to take too much time because Bashir is ready. I will be doing that afterwards, inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah. So before Bashir starts, I just want to, Bashir is going to go over the statistics, the numbers. But before he starts that, there's a question which is asked on the chanda.mkausa.org / FAQ. The question is, I give to other Jamaat projects. This is something Bashir was just mentioning. Charitable causes, etc. Do I still have to pay full Khuddam Chanda? The answer is yes, Khuddam Chanda is mandatory and you have to pay it before you consider participating in optional Chandas, projects, charitable causes inside or outside of the Jamaat. Most important for earning Khuddam is to pay their lazmi, obligatory Jamaat Chanda, Chanda-e-Aam, Wasiyat, Jalsa Salana. After that is the auxiliary, the Khuddam Chanda, which is also required for all Khuddam. If you're fulfilling your obligation, then you can start considering optional Chandajat, such as Tahrika Jadid, which you just mentioned, Waqfa Jadid, or Jamaat projects such as local masjid, hospital, humanitarian projects such as Disaster Relief for Humanity First, which is their organization, and they say you should only donate to them. Offering money for optional chandajat or projects is like a person who offers nafil prayer but skips the 5 obligatory prayers. It makes no sense. So Bashir, go ahead. Let's
Yeah, brother, you nailed it. And then one more thing on Tariqa Jadid. On Tariqa Jadid, they used it to start businesses, and one of the big businesses is Shazan. You see that? So I got data on that too. There was a connection. Remember, they got the whole town of Rabwa, so they started opening businesses and manufacturing and saying, "Hey, we got all this land. Let's start a plant. Let's start a factory of making something." In fact, there's an area of Rabwa called Factory Area. And I've been there many times. We're like right next to the train station. So if you're ever in Pakistan and you're drinking that Shazan, you know that you're helping them out in one way or the other. uh, and the Nation of Islam did the same thing. That they started businesses, and the businesses would fund their operation. If you have a bakery and if you have a trucking company, and it all comes under one LLC or one business structure, then you're like very diverse. Now you can give people jobs who are also working at the temple. You see what I mean? You can be this whole network of yeah. So okay. I wanted to show just what they did in Canada. Let me see if I can pull it up. Oh, no. So first, I wanted to start with their umbrella organization, their global umbrella organization. Pull this up real quick, brother. Oh, yep, there it is. So globally, they are known as AMJI, Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat International, right? This is their global. This is, but AMJI does not own where the Khalifa lives. But is that interesting? Where the Khalifa lives, that's owned by an entirely separate charity called the Mirza Sharif Ahmed Foundation. And its only purpose is to hold an asset. A 40 million pound asset is what it holds, and that's the property where the Khalifa lives, bro. How dirty is that, bro? How dirty is that, bro?
you have to protect your assets, Bashir.
Or exactly, you got to create these dummy companies, LLCs. People say in America, don't buy a house on your name, create an LLC, and have the house or have um, your property under a LLC as a trust or something like that. It's more strategic, um, so anyhow, the AMJI is their global organization. Started in 2004. So the current Khalifa invented it. Invented this whole thing when he came in. He said, no, we're doing this wrong. So it seems like before that, every country operated separately, legally separate. So if the president of any country wanted to separate, he technically could. I mean, there'd be a legal battle, and et cetera. But so Masur comes in and he does that. He creates AMJI, and then their auditor is RSM UK audit. And look, under the AMJI, guess who sends them money, brother? Look, Ahmadi Jamaat in Canada sends them 30%. Ahmadi Jamaat in America sends them 30%. In Germany, they send them 30%. This is where everyone sends their money, to the AMJI. Okay? Technically, they send all the money there. Now, the AMJI sends it back as a budget. See how that works? Or you know what? Actually, I'm not exactly sure. I think in the USA and Canada, they don't send it all there and then it comes back. I think they send it all to their national headquarters, and the national headquarters sends 30%. Okay, actually, I'm not sure. Fair enough. Now, guess what country is not under the AMJI umbrella? What
America?
major country?
America?
Pakistan.
Oh,
It's not.
Pakistan. Okay, okay.
Pakistan's not under this umbrella. They are operating because remember, in Pakistan, they operate like a business.
But she was quizzing me on things, and then I'm giving the wrong answer. Now I feel bad.
No, it's okay. It's okay, because this is also like international business, international NGOs, and etc. So look,
The inner professor is coming out.
so look. So in Pakistan, why are they not connected to this AMJI? Here we go. Again, it's a business strategy. So remember, all the money that they collect in Pakistan, where do they send it? Where did we catch them sending it?
The UK.
Panama.
Oh, Panama. Panama Papers.
So we come up with the story that, look, all the money that's being held in Panama or Switzerland or in these offshore banks, it came from Pakistan. And you guys are funneling money out. So guess what? So the Qadianis admit to it. Look, brother, it's the craziest thing. All of a sudden they admitted to it. They said, oh yeah, because we don't want the Pakistani government to freeze our assets. I'm like, well, there it goes. They just admitted to the whole thing. So all the money that they're making from Pakistan, they're laundering it. They pretty much admitted to it. So that's the unique way that they operate. Now, okay. And I'm just trying to be very, very quick here. So in 2019, so the UK Jamaat gave them 8 million pounds. Look, I got some stats here, and then I'll also talk about the Mirza Sharif Ahmed Foundation. Look, their expenditures were et cetera, et cetera. 228 employees. Look, I got all the countries. It's only 88. You know how they say we're in like 104
204 nations.
Well, a lot of those are one-man shows, and it shows because they're not under AMJI. They're operating independently for the time being.
His cat is being naughty. He's having to yell at it.
No, dude, my cat. So cats will start like not meowing, but like yelping. Yeah, and it's like, bro, knock it off, bro. So he left. Okay, anyways, so yeah, here's all the countries that are underneath it. All right, now let me just quickly talk about Canada. See if I can find it, because I had some specific numbers. Where'd it go? Okay, all right. Nope, that's not it. Okay, I'll find it. Because I had it and then I went away from it. And here it is. Yep. Okay. Okay.
You want to share again? The top
Yeah.
list?
So okay, in Canada. Oh no, that's not it. Is this okay? So in Canada, in 2019, that they collected $23 million. The problem here is a lack of transparency. Yeah, I don't want to bore you guys with the numbers. I mean, but funds were diverted during the pandemic. Look, they gave 100,000 to the Zion, to the mosque project in Zion. On behalf of Haddam. So All of a sudden they'll do stuff like this. So okay, and then there's look, you can look at the Panama Papers. Look, they admitted to it. They admitted to it. So brother, with that being said, yeah, feel free to go to the blog and read all the financials. In Canada, they're pulling about 20 million. In the UK, and that's 20 million a year. And in the UK, they're pulling about the same in pounds, probably a little bit more. And in the US, we don't know. I think it's like 30, probably 30 million. And in Germany, those are their cash cows. They're not making any money anywhere else. In Africa, they're making money with their schools, and if you open a hospital, you'll get like government funding. So that's how they're making money in Africa, and the money in Pakistan, they're moving into Panama, and in India, they're pretty much dying. And yeah, and that's it, brother.
So let me ask you a question before we go to Oasis. Um, so what is their German like population? It's pretty big.
Yeah, in my estimation, it's probably maybe like 15,000, 15. It could be 20. I think it was more, but they're slowly losing numbers. But
So
yeah,
so uh, I remember they used to say that there's a lot of Qadianis in Germany.
oh yeah, since 1984. So remember, all this happened after 1984.
Okay.
Before 1984, they had one temple in Germany, or like two. Same thing in London. Same thing in the U.S. had like two or three. It was the 1984 fake asylum where they said "Asimari," or in Urdu Punjabi. In Urdu Punjabi, it's funny if you have an auntie, that sometimes that's how they would say it. But like they faked this whole ordinance 20. We can't say Assalamu alaikum. We can't say Azan. We can't. We should all go to America. It's like, bro, it's the funniest thing. Why not go back to India? Like, why do you want to go to like it's pretty bold, but they were able to pull it off. And I estimate 20 to 40,000 Amdi refugees, bro, in the last 40 years.
So where's their biggest population outside of Pakistan? England or USA or Canada? Not Canada, I don't think.
I think it's Germany.
Germany.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Oasis, floor is yours. Go ahead, my brother.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وصحبه وبارك وسلم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Brother said, so the topic we discussing today is the difference between Chanda and Zakat, basically, and then how the Qadiani Jamaat is taking oppressive Chanda from their members, and if you don't do it, they're gonna kick you out. Basically they're gonna be excommunicated. But you remember yesterday we had a big debate on with this guy Heather, and he was mentioning again and again that Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he enforced zakat. Yeah, he enforced zakat. So Mirza Bashiruddin, he had the right to enforce chanda as well. Yeah, so that was the crux of the debate. But when you open this page in the beginning of the stream, yeah, you see the zakat is mentioned separately there, and chanda is mentioned separately, and there are 3 or 4 types of chanda. So, I mean, how diabolical one can get to say that Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he enforced zakat and chanda is the same, and on their website, their main page, it says they are different things. Yeah.
Well,
So,
I did share this link
Alhamdulillah,
with them.
yeah, we are.
I shared the screenshots and I shared the link with them on Sunday when all of this started. And at first they said the screenshots could be fake, so I shared the website. And I don't think they wanted to go on the website. But that's their choice. But go ahead. I just wanted to lay that out there. Luis, you there?
Yeah, sure. I just want to ask before I share anything. Is my voice clear? Like, is there any problem or something?
No, it's fine. It's good. I can hear it.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so I'm gonna share my screen in a minute. Just
Yeah, so obviously, like they said, they were like, well, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu went to war, basically against those people who refused to pay zakat, and they were using that as a basis to say that if Chanda is obligated. It's not, it's nothing out of the ordinary. Now let's add Oasis screening. Well, you want me to
Can
add
you
this
see
in?
my screen now?
Yeah, if you want to,
No. So can you see my screen?
yeah, we can see your screen, but it's showing everything. Like it's not showing anything specific right now.
Sorry, I'm in the folder that I added all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Once
I
you
will go
once
one
you
by
ch-
one, inshallah.
yeah, once you choose whatever
So
it is, I'll add the screen back. Okay, there you go. Hold up.
yeah. Sorry guys, my laptop is a bit slow, and yeah, I don't have any Jamba from Kadyani, so I can upgrade my laptop. That was just a joke. Just
Our brother needs some chanda
yeah, I think
funds.
the
Guess have too
problem with my
much.
laptop is making the video slow. I don't mind getting from them. Yeah, like we are doing 24/7 service to them to expose the truths. It's just a joke for that. Okay, can you see this?
Yeah, I can see it.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. So if you see this paragraph, it says amlak amdani or kharch. So basically, this is income and expenses. And in the first line, it says, if if God is not with me, then I will give my all property, which is written and non-written, basically. I will give that to Christians. Like basically, is addressing Christians on some munazara, some debate. Yeah, and it says it's gonna be, no, it's not gonna be less than 10,000. Yeah, so this is istiharat, the advertisements by Nizamullah Ahmed. You can see the reference down there. Then on the time of tax fulfillment, it showed that his income for this year is 1,200 rupees annually. Yeah, and the income tax bureau or the office, they put a tax of 187 rupees and 8 anna. That was his income tax, and he said he can't do that. He can't pay that, and he go against, and he made a affidavit where he said his salary or pension, yeah, it is $82. I'm sorry for saying dollars, 82 rupees per year, and then 300 rupees is coming from his land, like land income, and then there is 500 maximum coming from his garden income. So altogether 882 rupees he was earning per year. That was his personal income. Then he goes on to say, I don't have any other income, but this year I got 5,200 rupees from his Muridan. So that was basically Chanda. Yeah. And so you see the stark difference between his income and the amount of chanda he's getting from his muridin. And then he goes on to say, yeah, then he goes on to say that this um, extra income which is coming from muridin, he doesn't need it for his own personal expenses, yeah. And this is only done for the only used for the Jamaat purposes. So it's highlighted in the green, if you can say. इसकी जाती आमदनी बाग जमीन और तलकादारी की इसके खर्च के लिए काफी है, और उसको कुछ जरूरत नहीं है कि वो मरीजों का रुपया जाती खर्च में लाए. Yeah, so it makes pretty clear that he is claiming he's not using the chanda for the purpose of his own welfare, and he is using that for the welfare of Jamaat. Yeah, and then we see it says, ये बात हर एक फर्ज जानता है कि हजूर यानी मिर्जा साहब इसी आमद से खर्च दिया करते थे. किसको? जस्ट सी द अपर लाइंस. अब हमें ये देखना है कि मेहदी मसूद, दिस इज अ मिस स्पेलिंग, मेहदी मऊद अपनी जिंदगी में अपने अहलो अयाल और वकारों को इसी आमद में से खर्चा देते थे जो जमात की तरफ से आपकी खिदमत में पेश होती थी या तो सीरियस से. ये बात हर एक फर्द जानता है कि इसी आमद से खर्च दिया. सो बेसिकली Anjuman Ansarullah Qadian says in Ishaq Hakikat that when he was alive, he was paying his family and his household from the income he was getting from within. Yeah, and but in the official document, official script which he was submitting to evade tax, he was saying that he just uses his own income for the for his family. Yeah, and he doesn't use the murid, the alms and the sadaqah for that purpose. Yeah. Now we go. Um, Sorry, guys. I'm a bit lost in too much. That happens when you have a clutter of information and you can't really organize it. But I think I can do it. So here he says, Mirza Ghulam Ahmed. I'm just waiting for this to open. Not this one. It's just a bit laggy. Meanwhile, can I ask, like, am I hearable, audible properly? Because I don't really
Yeah, yeah,
see the
I can
screen.
hear you. You're fine.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So in a book which has the combination of advertisement by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. So he was making istihar. It says this advertisement is not an ordinary writing, but this is to them who are called Muridan. And I made this last decision that God told me I am related to them. I am knit together to them. Uh, and those are my Muridan who help me financially, sorry, who help me and who support me. Yeah. But there are many others who want to deceive God. Yeah. So then he goes and say कि हर एक शख्स को चाहिए कि इस नए इंतजाम के बाद नए सिरे से अहद कर अपनी खास तहरीर से इतला दे कि वो फर्ज हतमी के तौर पर इस कदर चंदा माहवारी भिजवा सकता है. So basically made a proclamation that every murid has to declare that they can give this much chanda, this much sadaqah to the Jamaat every month. Yeah. If somebody, so we will wait 3 months after the publishing of this advertisement. And if somebody doesn't reply, yeah, we will cut his bath. Like he will not be considered any murid. Yeah. So this is clear what we were discussing yesterday, and they were saying if somebody doesn't want to pay, they can't pay, they're not going to kicked out. They're not going to be kicked out of the Jamaat. So either you're saying Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani was lying when he said that silsila bath se uska naam kaat diya jayega. Like I will cut his bath. That is when you believe, like when you give hand in hand of a peer or a wali or a khalifa to say, yeah, you are my leader. So Mirza is saying, I will disconnect you, I will excommunicate you if you don't give me answer in 3 months. Yeah. अगर किसी ने माहवारी चंदा का अहद करके 3 माह तक चंदा के भेजने से लापरवाही की तो उसका नाम भी काट दी जाएगा. So if you made a promise that you will pay, like you replied to this advertisement, to this flyer, and you didn't pay for 3 months, your name will be cut as well. And after that, no no arrogant and no careless person will become in this silsila. Yeah, this is Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, and this should be a face palm and a reality check to those who were saying yesterday, like, no, it's not forced. We like even Mirza Bashiruddin and Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, they never forced this chanda upon the people. Yeah. Okay, so we will go next. Stay with me. If you guys running short of time, just let me know, and I will just stop the presentation because I think I made the main points there. But there are pretty much strong points afterwards, especially the when his Muridan they were joking around in the car because their wives they that Mirza and his family are living a luxurious life, and we are paying them, we are feeding them chanda. So that is the main point I have to make afterwards. This okay. So here, if you can see, Mirza is flexing basically, and in the last part he was threatening people to cut their bear if they don't pay, and then here he is flexing like how much money he's got. Yeah. So this is Hakikatul Way, Rawani Khazan, and the reference page numbers are there. You can see. It says हमारी माश और आराम का तमाम मदार हमारे वालिद साहब की महज एक मुख्तसर आमदनी पर मौसर था. Like he was saying, my father was supporting me and I had none other income source apart from that. And मुझे अपनी हालत पर ख्याल करके इस कदर भी उम्मीद ना थी कि 10 रुपए माहवार भी आएंगे, मगर खुदा ताला जो गरीबों को खाक में से उठाता. So basically saying, if it was up to me, I didn't even hope for 10 rupees as my income monthly. But this is the fazl of God. He picked me up, and then he says, उसने मेरी ऐसी दस्तगीरी की कि मैं यकीनन कह सकता हूँ कि अब तक 3 लाख के करीब रुपया आ चुका है, और शायद इससे ज्यादा हो. So basically saying I have received more than 3 lakh rupees until now. Yeah, which is like if you consider from 1980 to till his death, it's 28 years. In 28 years, if you divide those 300,000, it becomes 1,000 rupees every day. Yeah. So either he was lying or he was getting a large amount of money, and then still he went on to threat people, if you don't pay me, I will cut your bed. Yeah. So like it doesn't make any sense. You get 3 lakh rupees in even on the last day of your life. If you get to that day 300,000, yeah, you shouldn't be asking people and you shouldn't be forcing people for chanda. Yeah. Anyways, we'll just move forward. So this is his little flex, and then where was this money going? I'll show you now. And this is all this is all in the life of Mirza. I haven't even touched the others.
And these are all Qadiani Ahmadi
Okay,
sources.
so
These are
this
not
is
books written by our scholars. These are all books written by them.
yeah, yeah. So this is basically a critique on this Jamaat. Yeah, and every reference is shown, and all these words are theirs. It's not like the author is not adding any word from himself. So this is their words basically, and every reference is given. Uh, I can't make it any more simple here. So here it says like he has sent to Rome and Syria and Egypt and Bukhara. Bukhara is in Afghanistan somewhere. Yeah, and in so these Murabbis they had this bundle of books or flyers. Yeah, in those flyers, Mirza was praising the government. Yeah, and he made it evident on all of the Muslims that that इस मुस्लिम गवर्नमेंट के साथ जिहाद कतन हराम है. So saying like this government, the British government has favored us, and we can't really fight with them. If we do jihad with them, it's haram. Yeah. Remember, Qadianis, they blame us, they accuse us of changing the Quran or not believing in Quran. Yeah, jihad is all over in Quran, and Mirza had changed jihad from like fighting to I don't know, uh, nafsi jihad or rohani jihad, I don't know. And then he goes on to say, हजार रुपया खर्च करके वो किताबें मुफ्त तकसीम की. So this is not an Islamic book. You have to understand, brother. This is a book written on the praise of government of England. government of UK. Yeah, and he is spending money on this one, though that money which is coming from his Muridin, that is one, and the other one is he was getting funding from the government of the British government. Yeah, so in both cases, it doesn't support them. It doesn't support their narrative of being so generous and yeah on the path of truth. Yeah, so he was distributing these books to who? Muslims, and these books were praising British government, a government that was now Muslim, and then he's saying, I have spent thousands of rupees, and in that time, 1,000 rupees was a big amount, thousands of rupees to distribute these books as a gift. So, and then he says, शायद इस जगह एक नादान सवाल करेगा कि इस कदर खैर खाई गैर मुमकिन है कि हजार रुपया अपनी गिरह से खर्च करके इस गवर्नमेंट की खूबियों की तमाम मुल्कों में फैलाया जाए. So here is saying someone can question like, why am I doing this? Why am I spending my own money to do this? And then he says, because I'm doing an ihsan on them. I'm doing a favor to them, and I'm doing this because I expect the return of this favor in favor of the Qadiani Jamaat. So basically, this is just making up thing. And okay, so like he is doing ihsan on who? The British government, not on Muslims, not on Qadiani Jamaat, but instead he is taking chanda from them, and then he is doing ihsan on British government. Why? Because he needs some favor return. Okay, so and this is the same part. I'm just taking it. Then we go to this thing. This is very interesting. And I'll present this one as the last one, and then I'll give the mic back to you. Because if I go into Bashir's things, where he said you're gonna be a murtad and you are khabis and all those things, I mean Bashiruddin, not brother Bashir in our stream. So if I go into that, it's gonna take a lot more time, and I don't think we have that much time. But if somebody objects, I can present them in a rebuttal. Okay, so you can see this is an important incident. So Khan ki zindagi mein is the the life inside the house. So how is it's being spent, and I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna translate this. और जिस रोज मस्जिद के चंदा के वास्ते गुजरात या कड़ियांवाला की तरफ जा रहे थे, और जनाब नवाब खान साहब, so he's saying basically they were going to Gujarat and Kadianwala, and there were some people including Khaja Kamaluddin and Sayyid Sarwar Shah and Maulvi Muhammad Ali Lahori. They were in the car. Yeah. So Khaja Sahib, yani Khaja Kamaluddin, he said this, that we should talk because we can't spend the whole journey without talking. And I have this question. Khaja Kamaluddin is asking, I have this question for which I don't have an answer. Yeah, I will present this, and you should answer this. He's asking me, Muhammad Ali and Sayyid Sarwar Shah. And question was this: पहले हम अपनी औरतों को ये कहकर अंबिया और सहाबा वाली जिंदगी इख्तियार करनी चाहिए कि वो कम और खुश खाते थे और सिंपल पहनते थे, मतलब खुशन पहनते थे, और बाकी बचाकर अल्लाह की राह में दिया करते थे. इसी तरह हमको भी करना चाहिए. अगर ऐसे वाज करके कुछ रुपया बचाते थे और वो का ध्यान बेचते थे. So he's saying we were telling our women and our household that we should spend the life like Sahaba and the prophets and their companions. Those people, they were eating less and they were wearing simple clothes, and the rest, whatever they had, was they were spending in the way of Allah. Yeah, and we should also do this. And then he says, Khaja Kamaluddin says, we used to do these sermons and advices so that we can save some rupees and we can send this money to Qadian. But when our women went Qadian for the first time and they stayed there and they know what's happening there, they came back and they fought with us. And they said, कि तुम बड़े झूठे हो, you are big liars. हमने तो कादियान जाकर खुद अंबिया और सहाबा की जिंदगी को देख लिया है. We have gone to Qadian and we have seen the lives of prophets and the companions, how they are living. जिस कदर आराम की जिंदगी होता है ये वहां पर औरतों को हासिल है. The way those women are living over there in luxury, इसका तो अशर अशीर भी बाहर नहीं. So we are not even getting tenth of that luxurious life which the women of Sahaba and Ambiya are getting. Although it's our money, what we're doing is like what we spend is our money, and what they spend is वो कौमी अगराज के लिए कौमी रुपया होता है. What they spend is not their money, is the money of the people who which should be spent for the Jamaat basically. Qawmi Agras means Jamaat Ahmadiyya and Qawmi Rupiah means the money that should be spent for Jamaat. लिहाजा तुम झूठे हो. So the wives and women are saying to Khaja Kamaluddin that you are a liar who have told us lies for a long time and deceived us. Yeah. Okay. So we go into the next thing. So this is the next page basically. I'm going to put there. It's going to come in 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay. And we are not going to get into your deception in the forthcoming life. And we are not going to give you that money that you can send it to Qadian. So this is the woman of the big Qadiani people, like the people who were close to Mirza, who were saying this. इस पर ख्वाजा साहब ने खुद ही फरमाया कि एक जवाब तुम लोगों को दिया करते हो, तुम्हारा वो जवाब मेरे आगे नहीं चल सकता. So Khaja asking this question to Maulvi Muhammad Ali and Sayyid Anwar Shah, he said that, look, I know what you're gonna say to people if the people ask this question, but your that answer of your is not gonna work on me because I know the truth. क्योंकि मैं खुद वाकिफ हूँ. And then Khaja went on to say the details of some jewelry and some clothes which were bought for Mirza's women, and he like Khaja Kamaluddin, he provided the details and he said, I'm not gonna take any bullshit from you guys. इन एतराज के बाद मुझे ऐसा महसूस हो रहा था कि गज़ब खुदा नाजिल हो रहा है और मैं मुतवातिर दुआ में मशगूल था और बार बार जनाब इलाही में अर्ज करता था कि मौला करीम मैं इस किस्म की बातों के खिलाफ हूँ, मैं इस मजलिस से इलादा हो जाता मगर मजबूर हूँ, बस तेरा गजब नाजिल हो रहा है, इससे मुझे बचाना. So Sayyid Sarwar Shah in Kashful Ikhtilaf, what's he saying? Basically, he's advocating for Mirza himself. He's saying, I didn't want to be in that place where they were criticizing Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and I was thinking like God is gonna send us a big adab if we keep talking like this. And I was making dua and I was saying, Ya Allah, I am against these things and I want to leave this company, leave this gathering, but I can't leave it because it was a journey to, and they were traveling in the car. Yeah. And then he's saying, if you send your azab, yeah, I'm not one of them, save me, please. So basically, he's saying, even if you ask people, if you ask Mirza, why you spending this money which is coming for the Jamaat, why are you spending this money on your household, yeah, is gonna be resulting in azab ilahi if just you ask. Now it reminded me of an important incident in the life of Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, where he was late from the sermon and he came to the pulpit, and someone from the gathering, he get up and he said, why are you late? You know, like we're not supposed to wait for you. Yeah, he didn't say, Umar Farooq didn't say like Allah's azab is gonna get into us, although he was very furious and he was very barob and Tuzila person. Yeah, but he didn't say things, and he replied, I have only one shirt, and this shirt was dirty. I have washed it, and I was waiting for it to get dry so I can put it on and I can come back to pulpit. So here Sarvasha is saying we can't even in a private company, we can't even discuss what Mirza does. So you see how they always compare Mirza and their caliphs to Sahaba and Khalifa Rashidin, but this is the reality. And then there is another where Mirza was directly involved. लुधियाना का एक शख्स था जिसने एक दफा मस्जिद में मौलवी मोहम्मद अली साहब ख्वाजा कमालुद्दीन और शेर रहमतुल्लाह के सामने कहा कि जमात मकरूज होकर अपनी बीवी बच्चों का पेट काट कर चंदा में रुपया बेचती है. So there was a person from Ludhiana and he asked Maulvi Muhammad Ali and Khaja Kamaluddin and Sheikh Rahmatullah that we take loans and we spend a life of austerity and we send this amount in donation and chanda to Qadian. But what happens is that their money is used for jewelry and clothes of the wife of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and you do nothing else with that money. हजरत मसीह मऊद अलैहिस्सलाम को नाज़ुबिल्लाह तो जब इसका इल्म हुआ तो आपने फरमाया कि उस पर हराम है कि वो एक हब्बा भी इस सिलसिले के लिए भेजे और फिर देखे कि खुदा के सिलसिले को क्या बिगड़ता है. So Mirza, when he knew this, he said, now he doesn't have to send anything, even not even a piece of grain, yeah, because it's haram for him, yeah. And let's see if there is any, if it makes any difference between in the functions of this Jamaat and of this Silsila. And he said we should never take chanda from him. हालांकि वो पुराना Ahmadi, he was an old Ahmadi and Masiih Maud के दावा से पहले भी आपसे तल्लुक होता है. And before he made a claim of before Mirza made a claim of being a promised Messiah, he was an acquaintance with that person already. So he cut it with that person just because he asked this question. And mind you, Mirza didn't give the he just said, we're not taking chanda from that person now. Why? Because he feared that if we take chanda from him again and he criticizes again, many people from the Jamaat, they will do the same. So he cut he disconnected from that person. He not excommunicated, but he didn't um, keep the contact with that person after that. So I will just leave it here, and if the time allows, I can provide the other slides afterwards. Inshallah. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. I didn't even turn my microphone on. Okay, so I want to go over some of the things which are written on their other website. I want to show it, and I want to go over this, and maybe Bashir can shed some light on these things for us, inshallah, to clarify them a little bit for some of the terminology we may not know. So I'm gonna go over. Let's see here. What is chanda? Right? This is, Chanda is spending in the way of Allah for the function of Nizam-e Jamaat, organizational structure, and the propagation of His message throughout the world. Now, one thing which we have to understand, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran in the 14th juz, He says, Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun. And this translates that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken the protection of the book, the kitab of the Kalamullah, Quran, unto Himself. So the protection of this deen, the propagation of this deen, and everything about this deen is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It does not need our money, it does not need our efforts. I recently met an individual who converted to Islam. He found out about Islam online. He lived in a small town in which there were no Muslims. He found Islam, he converted to Islam, he started practicing Islam, and until he didn't move to the city, he had never met a Muslim in his life. So this idea that the money of the Ahmadi Jamaat is needed to propagate Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes care of the propagation Himself. We're not needed, honestly speaking. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses us with the opportunity, we should take it. But it's not as though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is dependent on us. So this idea that the Qadianis bring up or the Ahmadis bring up, that the Islam is dependent on their da'wah for it to spread, this is not true. And so they bring up this ayah at the end and they say, spend out of what we have provided for them, right? There's different translations: establish prayers and donate from what we have provided for them. Donate, spend, there's a little bit of a difference. So this is what they say as far as the chanda goes. What is khuddam and atfal chanda? Khuddam chanda is used to achieve aims and objectives of establishment of the khuddam al ahmadiyya, right? It's necessary for the function of the large organization. The Atfal Chanda is a small amount that is used to inculcate the spirit of the financial sacrifice from a young age. So basically, Bashir used to tell us about how they would take his sort of like lunch money, and he would have to give from that, and this is from within their uh, structure. Now in Islam, there is nothing like this where you have to force your children to give money. Um, Sometimes what parents will do or grandparents will do is they'll give $1 or $2. Like, I'm just using dollar as an example, to the grandchild and put it in the masjid box. But to obligate it on a child, a child is not mature, is not earning, obligate charity upon them is pretty unfair. Now there's a question which is asked to them. I only want to pay the chandajat started by promised Messiah for them, not for us. Why are new chandajat such as Khuddam Chanda and other schemes? This is a good question. That we don't want to pay this. Why are we being forced to pay this? It's the need of the time. The Prophet, their Messiah, said, "Do know the people spend hundreds for show and display. When it comes to spending in the way of Allah, they find all sorts of excuses. La di da di da. It's indeed shameful to enter this Jamaat and not leave behind miserliness and la di da di da." And then Allah has also ordained that the party of His men also always need financial assistance in the beginning. Even the Holy Prophet ﷺ received chanda. This is never a word which is used in any of the hadith. Disciples, of whom Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was foremost. Um, he further stated, has there ever been a movement which is moved without money? We all obey the system of Khilafah and pledge to follow the Khulafa. And so obviously this obligates them then. And then Muslim, Masood, Maud, all these terminologies they use. He explained that even for zakat, the Quran does not set a rate, and the rate can be adjusted according to the need of the time. This is the first time I'm hearing this. During Holy Prophet's time, sometimes similar sacrifices were demanded, but sometimes in the campaigns there was scarcity. Everyone was requested to bring all possessions. This was still a choice. So as the time of the need changes, new chandajat can be added. It seems as though they only add, and our rates can be changed, but they don't remove anything. The chandas keep increasing, but they don't seem to be decreasing. Bashir, over the course of your life, when you were in Ahmadi, did you notice that any of the chandas were reduced?
None, never, never, bro. I knew it was a fraud from day one. From I saw the Murabbis. Look, I'm a street kid. I grew up on the street where you got to be able to survive, see a thief from a mile away, and if you don't develop this ability, you're not going to survive. So I was like, look, they're making me work 7 days a week and do this and do that. Their kids ain't doing that. Why are they making me do something that no one else is doing? I'm like I'm donating my entire salary, and so Allah made me good with the numbers, and I'd be like,
Mm.
wow, if I was getting paid minimum wage, I'd be making, I had all the numbers in my head. I'm a statistics guy, so I'm looking at all the numbers, and I'm like, no, this isn't right. This isn't right. So yeah, I always knew, brother, and
Okay, so Chanda, um, so this question says right here, I'm a businessman or a freelancer. I'm not sure how much I will earn next year. How do I make my chanda budget? Make your budget on the minimum expected income for the year. Then, as you earn more, pay more according to your income. Now, obviously, aside from that being such a bogus concept, my question is, when do you pay the chanda? Do you pay it before the year or do you pay it at the end of the year?
no, it's every month. So, but
Oh, it's every month. Okay.
sometimes you'll go 2 months you didn't pay. You'll go 3 months you didn't pay. You'll go
Well,
4 months you didn't
okay,
pay.
so it says right here, we usually collect the pledges before the fiscal year starts. Um, so for the fiscal year starting in November, we typically collect budgets in June or July. We understand that sometimes your circumstances, talk to your local Nazim finance guy. But so they basically get your budget and they ask you how much you're going to pay at the beginning of the fiscal year, and then they expect that every single month.
Yeah, they'll be like set a budget, and basically that's flowery language. Basically, they're like, tell us how much you make.
So the Khuddam and Atfal fiscal year starts in November and ends on October 31st. Who created this? Why are they using the British calendar? That would be the good question.
Yep, and
Um,
their fiscal year is a little different. I think some run from June to June. Yeah.
oh, really? Okay. I'm just like, why wouldn't you use the Islamic calendar? Because for zakat, we use Islamic years. We don't pay zakat according to the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
But your chanda for a Qadiani is according to the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
Okay, but now this one is where it's written properly for me, and I like it. And obviously, these rates down here, they're not true of how it works because there's other chandas you have to pay. If I'm unemployed or a student, do I have to pay? Yes, you still have to pay at least minimum khuddam chanda rate. When you're unemployed, you still get some money. Now they want your unemployment benefits. You still get some money for your other needs, whether it is food, clothing, or shelter. From the same amount of money, you can take out some portion to spend in the way of Allah, which comes to $5 per month. Right? This is just one. Right? Am I
And let me just stop you right there. And remember, the Messiah was when the Messiah came in the Hadith, people wouldn't even accept money. So, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just throwing that out there
no,
that
no, you
this was supposed to happen. It didn't happen.
So, if you remember Allah, then He will remember you in hardship. In exceptional circumstances, you can ask for a chanda remission through the budget form, and Sadr MKA will reduce or waive your chanda. When it says Sadr MKA, what does that mean?
The president of Majlis Salam Al Ahmadiyya in the USA. So
Uh,
now you got to write him a letter and say, I'm broke, I'm doing bad, yada, yada, yada. And then he'll
Well,
respond to it.
well, also there was a video which I had shared. In that video, the current Baba, Chanda Baba, what's his name? Mirza what?
Masroor.
No, I forget his name. It's not relevant for me. But he's like, if you write me a letter, I can forgive it. I'm like, let's say their numbers are correct, and I gave the guy a hypothetical situation in the comments. I'm like, let's say there's 10 million Ahmadis around the world, and out of that, every year there's and I believe you can't just write a letter for the year. You have to upgrade it every so often, every month or something. So I'm like, let's say there's 200,000 poor Ahmadis. He's like, where did you get the number of 200,000? I'm like, it's a hypothetical, brother. Hypotheticals work like that. I'm like, you'd expect at least 2% of your population to be poor. We know there's more than that, but let's say at least 2%. I'm like, every month they're writing to Chanda Baba. Now, does Chanda Baba have an option to reply to every single letter, or does he have other sort of mini khalifas under him who read the emails for him?
Yeah, well,
So,
he doesn't respond to anything. He's got secretaries and
okay,
undersecretaries, and they do all of that for him.
okay, so he's not actually reading the letters, so they get to decide.
It's like writing a letter to the president. You're like, oh, the president
No, no,
responded.
no,
No,
no.
he
I have,
didn't.
I have a better one. It's like writing a letter to Santa Claus. For sure, like, let me turn my mic off.
Yeah, and because I got a kid in the house with his friend. They're way in the back making noise. So
Okay, okay, that's fine. So obviously, then it has this other. Oh, okay, that's fine. There's okay. So are there other chandajat beside khuddam? Okay. Now this wasn't written on the last one we went over. Am I correct? The last one just showed three things. Um, this one has a little bit more detail. Um, okay, so zakat is 1/40th of savings held for 1 year. Only if savings are above the threshold. Let's see. Here. This is a different page. I don't think it's showing it. Uh, then Chandayam, 1/16th of net income, required for all earning khuddam. Then 1/20th of Jalsa Salana for wasiyat. Chanda wasiyat. So do you pay Chanda wasiyat every month as well? Okay, that's also every month. So
yep,
it's
it's
like,
every month, 10%. But again, somebody might forget and then pay 2 months out or 3 months
oh,
out.
you have to pay 10% every single month to 1/3 of your net income. Holy crap.
No, no, the
There's also
1/3 part is after you die.
Oh, that's after
Yeah,
when you die, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. So they also, so if you die and you die a millionaire, they will also take 333,333 of that.
No, your family got to make that payment. Gotta
So
gotta get access to that bank account and
so
make
they
that
make the
payment.
payment. So they make the payment, and then they do the actual wasiyat according, I guess, according to their version of Islam.
And then they'll bury you. But yeah, yeah.
Are you allowed to be, if you, well, let's say you don't pay your chanda and then you don't pay your wasiyat money, are you allowed to be buried in a Qadiani Qabristan?
Yeah, but you won't be in the Bahishti Makbara. And remember, it's virtual now. The graveyard. It wasn't Qadian. Then they opened another franchise in Rabwa. Then they opened another franchise in the UK. Then they opened another franchise in Canada. And now they're like, cemetery doesn't matter. Wherever you're buried, you're in.
Well, I mean, it's like Burger King. You open one wherever you need. Um, and then it says here, required for those who join the Nizam Masjid. Replaces Chandayam. Um, Fitrana rate changes, but currently $5. This is very low, the Fitrana rate. Chanda Tahrika Jadid, I think you mentioned this earlier. No set rate, optional but highly recommendable. Chanda Waqf Jadid. What is Chanda Waqf Jadid?
Yeah, that was in the 50s. That was again to send missionaries to like the rural areas or something like
Okay,
that.
okay. And then there's the mosque fund which you give sadaqah. Now they do now they do have separate categories, which those Qadianis in the comment section were not highlighting. They were trying to make chanda sound like sadaqah, but it's not an obligation, which is not true. But they were clearly lying. Okay, no set
Is there
rate.
any
Eid fund.
section?
What is that? Go ahead, brother West. You're saying something?
Is there any Qadiani in the comment section? Because I think they
I
have all gone
I
AWOL.
No, they come and they go. I think. They're coming and they're going. They're coming and they're going, but they're not commenting, obviously. Eid fund for
Okay,
poor families to help celebrate Eid.
one person, one
Go
person
ahead.
from Brother Bashir. I thought this Tariqe Jadid was just for 3 years, but they have kept it for like the whole lifetime.
Yeah, so the second Khalifa kept extending it.
That's interesting.
So
Oh,
he
oh,
says,
was it supposed to only be for a set amount of time?
yeah. So when Tariq Jadid started, he said, yeah, it's only for like 3 years. I can't remember the time. Maybe it was like 5 or 3 or like 7. I don't remember. But then so it ends. He goes, yeah, we're gonna keep it going, and then it just keeps
It
going.
was for
Then
3 years
then
initially, and that's why I said like if you don't pay for 3 years, if you pay for 3 years and then you like if we extend it and you don't decide to pay, you are khabis.
Habis ho gaye bhai. And Munafik. And look, you can't vote for the local elections anymore. You can't meet the Khalifa. So if you don't pay this and the Khalifa pops up, you can't even meet the Khalifa.
Oh,
No
really?
one will entertain anything you have to say.
So he won't sign your like Qadiani topi for you autograph?
Just that so it's all connected. They used to tell me when you meet the Khalifa, he'll always ask you. He always checks the Chanda report, and
Mm.
he always looks to see how much they're paying and have they ever missed.
I'm pretty sure you were always in trouble for that then.
Oh yeah, because I was in full like, why should I have to pay?
So up until the point you were a Qadiani or somewhat leaving it, those last few years were you paying your chanda or no?
No way. Last few years, the last so technically I was a Qadiani until 2015. The
Okay.
last like 7 year or like because I remember I played in the football tournament in 2010.
Okay.
So I had to that was the last tournament, and I was like, thank God.
Hmm.
The I had this little rivalry, and then it was over. I was like, thank Allah, I don't have to pay the little $40 or the $60 minimum Majlis Saddam Al Ahmadi Chanda they were forcing me to pay. Other than that, I was like, nah, I'm not a part of this.
Well,
I don't
so
want to
so
be
it's
part
went
of it.
up. It's went up from 40 to 75 now, or
Well,
72.
because look, they'll take anything. That's
Okay.
the thing. If you
Okay.
know them and you've been there, they'll take anything. You
Okay.
know, they're
Okay.
not going to say no.
They're not gonna say no.
So
Okay.
they'll just say he paid chanda, but not total. His chanda was not properly paid.
Okay. So then they have a Eid rate, which is optional. What is MTA? No set rate.
Oh my God! So check this out.
Oh,
They
that's a
start
TV
this
station, isn't it?
the satellite, yeah, and now it's obsolete. It's worthless. It's worth
Yes.
nothing,
Well, these are
brother.
these are optionals, so we'll give them a little bit of slack, but they're
Yeah,
still there.
yeah.
Sayyidina Bilal Fund for the families of martyrs. Is this our Bilal radiallahu anhu, or they have their own Bilal? And he's like, let me look it up. He's like, I don't even know.
No, they so it's our Bilal, but they
Okay.
used it.
Okay.
This is a less. lesser known one, I must say, because I don't remember paying into this one.
Well,
But
these are optionals
yeah.
because they have like Mariam Shadi Fund to help poor people with weddings, and then they have Yaksa Diatama, which is for orphans, and then they have various projects: Fazle Umar Hospital, Tahir Heart Institute, Tahir Homeopathic. This is obviously named after Mirza Tahir.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And they're double dipping, bro. They're
How
double
about this
dipping
one?
because look,
How
that
about this
that
one?
that hospital is a
Uh,
for-profit hospital.
Oh, is it okay?
Okay, so look, why do they want donations from us? For what? People are paying to get stuff done, and you're making pretty good money. You know, hospitals make a lot of money, bro.
They do.
And
What is
and
this?
and I'll tell you about the business of hospitals. It doesn't matter the quality of the doctor. It matters on the equipment. If you
Yeah.
have an MRI machine, they're charging $10,000. It costs a lot of money to get an MRI, bro. CAT scan, all that costs money. And no
What is
doctor can
this?
just look and say, "Oh, I, I,
Bashir, you
I'm
have to answer
I'm
this one.
eyeballing you, bro. You got this and that." No, they don't. They use it to. You got to have a machine.
Bashir, you have to answer this one. What the hell is this?
That's that mosque they built. And they opened it 2 years ago. So you remember Dowie, Dr. Dowie,
Yeah.
the guy in America who said he was Elijah, and then
Yeah.
Mirza Ghulam was like, "Huh, maybe I should challenge him. Maybe I'll go viral." So Mirza Ghulam challenged him, and then he got paralyzed. He never accepted anything. He got paralyzed, and Mirza Ghulam was like, "I won. I won the prayer duel with Dowie." So then later on, they're like, "Let's go build a mosque in his old city. His old city is Zion, north of
Hmm.
Chicago." So they built a temple there, bro. They just opened it. The Khalifa was there last year, I think.
Hmm. I mean, why would you name? I mean, just you'd at least
Dua
think of
Lipa
changing
in a
the name.
mosque.
What is that?
Dua Lipa is in
Uh,
a mosque. Like, what kind of mosque is that? Like, where you have to bring singers to inaugurate?
Eh, and then I don't know. But you have an answer to that one.
I don't really understand the question. Can you clarify the question?
So I heard like you said Dua Lipa was there. Yeah, and I was saying like what kind of mosque is it if Dua Lipa is coming to inaugurate it?
Oh yeah, I think it's called the Fateh Azim. Uh, the Grand Victory. Yeah, bro, it was a big thing, bro. It was a big thing. Huram was there. Huram went.
Oh, really? And then Beitul Futuh. Where's Beitul Futuh?
It's in the UK. It's in the
It's in the
UK.
UK. That's what I thought. And
Yeah,
then
right next to the train station.
it says many other which cannot be listed here. So the list doesn't end.
Yeah.
Um, it's uh it's I'm just like, okay, do you have a student rate? No, there's no student rate. Um, what if I lose my job in the middle of the year? Just go to your local guy, talk to him. Are there any consequences if I don't pay my khuddam and aftal? Well, the consequences for members who don't pay chanda in terms of not being able to hold office, participate in elections, not being able to talk to Bashir, that should not be your primary concern. Uh, that should not be your primary concern. Uski fikr nahi karo. Just do what we say. Um, know that the life of this world is only a sport and a pastime, an adornment and source of boasting amongst yourself, and of rivalry and multiplying riches, so on and so on. Um, it's just it is like a student who's given homework by his teacher. He doesn't do the homework and engage himself in fun and games. What are the consequences if a teacher doesn't find out that he hasn't done the homework? However, be aware the final exam is coming. So all of these things, they're like so grim, and they're so, they're just like, don't pay and see what happens to you. And there's all these questions. Then we can go on the actual. Oh, here, that's nice. MK Majlis Fund 1%. If unemployed, $36. MK Ijtima Fund 5.5%, $36. You just keep adding them up, and by the time an unemployed person is done, they're just left eating like oatmeal or something like that. Um, Zakat is 2.5%, whoever is above nisab. Then you have Jandayam 6.25%. earning khuddam. Well, I guess so. So is this true? Anybody who's not earning does not have to pay this. Um.
They'll have like a basic rate. They'll be like, Can you give us something? Can you give us
Oh, okay.
$30 or something?"
Yeah. Um. Now you said Musis have special. They pay more, but they sort of they get special benefits. Okay, so here's the modified payment plan option. You enter your name, which majlis you're from. Oh, nice. Oh, they have the Charlotte.
Go to the bees and go to Bay Point. That's where I'm at, California. Bay Point, California, boy.
Well, they have Charlotte too now because they opened their little temple over here recently.
Oh,
It's-
okay, okay.
Yeah. Then your email, your cell phone, last four of your cards or account. Oh yeah, you have a what is it? Tanjeed? Tajneed?
Oh, so look, that's a census. So what's your tajdeed? Every Qadiani around the world has a number, like a social security number.
Okay.
And
Okay.
and look, they still won't tell us how many there are. You're like, bro, you know exactly how many Chanda paying members you have to the
Okay.
dot.
And then you have last four of the card, and then how much you pay in your current plan. And then it
Oh
says
my
error for site owner, invalid domain key for site key, or invalid domain for site key. They might need to fix this. The website's not working. Jannah might not be coming in. And contact us. Oh, okay, there's the contact us. Submit budget. No, Baba is here. Don't waste your person. There's another Baba. Member code, full name, date of birth, select majlis, halaka, email, cell phone. Are you a student? Yes or no? Profession of areas and studies, employment status. Are you a recent immigrant? Um, why would they need to know that?
Oh, because you might have to be proving that you're an Ahmadi. So check this out. In Germany,
Hmm.
for 5 years, you got to before you get citizenship, you got to pay chanda and not miss a payment.
Oh, so they negotiate for you to the government. So if you don't, then they
Part
send
of
you
your
back.
visa, well, because they're like, uh, and I'm not sure if it's in America or
Hmm.
Canada or the UK, but
Hmm.
for sure, in Germany, they got to pay and attend all the events too. So they've worked out some kind of scam with the German government to where they're forcing them to pay.
Mm.
You want your visa? It takes 4 years. You got to sit and prove you are who you are, bro.
Mm. This is just and then right here you have to sort of like click either one. Yes, my calculated income is correct, and I agree to pay the budget amount. Yes, my calculated income is correct, but I cannot pay the budget amount. I need your request for reduced rate due to exceptional financial hardship. Okay, the minimum budget is $72, even for those who are unemployed or have income less than $4,800 per year. Now, even if a person's unemployed, right? If they go through like the unemployment exchange, they're gonna make more than 4,800. So then they're gonna obviously be obligated to pay the chanda. They won't be able to skip by on the $72. It's not possible. So just all of these requirements, you're going through the website. It just shows you that whatever they're saying to you, what we were being told, obviously in on the Twitter exchanges, most of it wasn't true. And they're just lying, 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 lying just to hide things. If you acquire more income after the budget has been run, you must not continue paying according to the budget. Rather, you must pay in relation to the blessings which Allah has showered upon you. Now, zakat, obviously, let me remove this guy's face. I think I'm done seeing him. Now, zakat, obviously, is if somebody is paying in advance, then at the end of the year they have to adjust it. But it's such a small percentage, 2.5. Now, for those khuddam who are in Jamaat Ahmadiyya who are making more than 4,800, not only do you have to pay zakat, that's on savings only, not on active income. This is on active income. Every single dollar you bring home to feed your family, you have to pay to them, and you're obligated. And if you don't, then obviously there are consequences. And brother Awais, he mentioned some. Brother Bashir, he mentioned some. And inshallah, we'll probably end in the next 5 minutes or so. Don't want to drag it on for too long, but basically, it was just to highlight that from within their sources, which brother Awais mentioned a lot of them, then Brother Bashir, he brought from his blog, which you can click on the links, and it'll take you to the sources, the Ahmadi sources, and it will take you to where they have their financials broken down. And then obviously from their own website, which I pulled up, which I was being accused of by many Ahmadis of just sending screenshots, but the websites are right there. You can look at them. The questions are right there. The answers are right there. And even the pictures of your little babas are right there. So you can look at them and be like, oh, well, this is actually what it says. Brother Ways, Brother Bashir, do you guys have any like sort of final thoughts or any sort of uh, feelings or sentiments?
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, brother, we're all born Muslim. Allah sends everyone to this planet born a Muslim. Now, your parents could twist you around, and I always knew something was up. I always knew some, because I was like, okay, why am I working 7 days a week? And I sent you that photo when I was like 7, 8 years old. Uh,
Yeah.
my dad had broke his leg. Why are we're in the most broke down house in the most broke down city in the most broke down county? Why are we working 7 days a week giving these people money? I'm like that's just not a normal thing that I'm understanding. First you got to raise yourself up and build yourself. Then you can start helping other people. You can't rob yourself to where you never own property and now you want to help other people. That's just not how it works. You got to make a lot of money first. So I just knew something was up. I saw how people would take advantage of my father. Bro, they used to come over, the Molvis. They'd walk in the door. Shah Saab, kitne gas station mein un? Oh, you're such a big man. You're such a good man. You're making so much money. We need 30,000. And they'd walk off with back then, bro. My dad used to have the money in the backyard, buried in a jar, or something like that. So he'd be like, all right, hold up, come back tomorrow, or something. Okay, let me go get it, or whatever the case is. And they're walking off with all this money. And I'm like, I'm like, what? We need to fix our roof. You know what I mean? I was like, bro, the roof leaks. There's like 3 cars parked in the backyard. Can we get them towed out? We need to beautify this thing. I have sisters in the house. Are they good? Can we ask them? I mean, this is just my natural proclivity of how I would respond. Hey, does everyone own a house? If I had a small business and I had 5 kids, I'd be trying to make sure everyone got a house. But before I went to help anyone else, and that's including daughters. Islam does not say you can't do that. So I was just like, what is going on? Then one of my uncles is not a Qadiani. He's like a Sunni Shia. He don't know what he is. My dad's being overly polite to him, giving him stuff. Why? Because he wants him to think that he's a good person so he can convert. And that's exactly what happened. He ends up converting to Qadianism. His kid is so addicted to it, and his wife even converted. They think that she was like Shia or something like that. But they're like, these are good people. Look, they just gave us everything, and they starved their own people. You see what I mean? So I just knew something was wrong, man. Like I was telling you, I didn't even want to be a millionaire. I just didn't want to work 7 days a week and have nothing. That was my goal. That was my when I was like 18. So that's my comment, brother. Thank you for your time, and yeah, I'm still here.
Awais, would you like to say something?
Yeah, yeah. I will do the concluding remarks, and I think if I present my screen, that would be
No,
much better.
inshallah,
I just want to add
we'll
one
do
more to
another
my
session.
previous presentation. I think this is,
Inshallah, we'll do another session
no, no,
soon.
it's just one.
Oh, it's just one. Okay, that's fine.
Can you?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, this one, because this was the bone of contention yesterday on the Twitter. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Sorry about that.
basically, they were saying like there's no compulsion about paying the chanda, and there here Mirza Bashiruddin the verse is saying on 19th of August 1936, that was the Friday sermon basically. It says मैं चाहता हूँ कि ऐसे लोग गिर जाएं और हमारे साथ साथ छोड़ दें, सिर्फ ऐसी मुखलिस जमात रह जाए जो पूरे तौर पर इताअत करने और अपनी हर चीज़ कुर्बान करने के लिए तैयार हो, ठीक है, like what we were discussing in the last I think 1.5 year half hour. So बस जो कमजोर हैं, it doesn't say those who don't want to pay or those who are munafiq, बस जो कमजोर हैं, I mean like those who are financially weak, वो मेरी तरीक की अहमियत को समझ लें, उसके मुताबिक अमल करें. Even if you are weak, you have to follow his orders. वरना इसके सिवा और कोई चारा नहीं कि या तो एक दिन मुर्तद होकर, like he is saying, there is no other way for them, that either they will be apostates and they will become apostates one day and we will kick them out of Jamaat, or, or we will just kick them out, या इन्हें खुद जमात से अलग कर दिया जाएगा. I mean like either they will be apostates and they will leave the Jamaat themselves, or they will kick them out. So where is the option here? That is my question. I mean, like if you're gonna lie on Twitter all day, that's fine. But we have read your statements. Yeah, we can't really close our eyes on these things. And one more point I want to make is that although we have given challenges to all of them Qadianis again and again on Twitter and everything, but they're only big mouths on Twitter. They can't really confront you on the live streams or in the debates. Anyways, uh, yeah, that's my final comment, and inshallah we will do that. And one more thing you said in the beginning, that I'm confused either to call them Qadianis or Ahmadis. They are not Ahmadis. Yeah, they are Gulamis or they are Qadianis. Ahmad, so this is the whole deception. If you call them Ahmadis, it implies that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is Ahmad, which is promised in the Quran. So that's why I personally try to call them Qadiani Jamaat or Gulami Jamaat. I don't want to go into their deception and their net, which we don't want to take their dates, and we don't take their terminologies which they chosen for them. Like it, I could never fathom to say Muslim Maud, Yeah, I would always call him Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud. Yeah, this is a respectable way of talking. I'm not insulting him, but I can't, because I don't believe in him being a Muslim Maud. To me, he's a Zindiq and Kafir. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, that's my final comment, and inshallah we will see you next time whenever you invite us. Yeah, however it goes. Assalamu alaikum.
No, no, inshallah, you guys are always invited. But inshallah, next time, we can go over what you were talking about, which is a little bit longer, I think, which is about Mirza Bashir and what he wrote in regards to Chanda. And, inshallah, we can have, sort of set out time for that. Tonight, obviously, we started off a little bit late because of me, 10, 15 minutes. I forgot my charger and I had to go grab it. And, we would have had those 10, 15 minutes extra that would have helped out. But khair, so what brother Awais was mentioning, one of the ayat which they love to use is the Qadianis love to use, and I'll mention it. وإذ قال عيسى ابن مريم يا بني إسرائيل إني رسول الله إليكم مصدقا لما بين يدي من التوراة وبشرا برسول يأتي من بعد اسمه أحمد فلما جاءهم بالبينات قالوا هذا سحر مبين. So remember when Isa son of Maryam said, "O children of Israel, I am the messenger of Allah sent towards you, confirming the Torah that is sent down before me, and giving you the good news of a messenger who will come after me, whose name will be Ahmad." But when he came to them with manifest signs, they said, "This is clear magic." And what's it called, I was and we've heard this many many times, that this was one of the first tricks that the Qadianis used when they went to many countries to get people to convert to Qadianism. Is they use this ayah of the Quran, that ismuhu Ahmad. And poor people who didn't know anything obviously fell for it. And and then obviously later on, many decades later or sometime later, where people would go and they would be like, "Hey, this is not actually what it says." And people would be like, "Oh, well, we didn't know. This is what those people told us." And this is one of those things where they were tricking people, and the poor people didn't know any better, and they were just like, "Oh, okay, well, let's uh, let's believe them. They seem to be telling the truth." Because you can use the whole truth of the Quran to get people to believe Islam, and then you just add in your little masala and you change it up a little. They don't know any better. Those poor people, they're just like, "Oh, okay, let's find a better religion than what was thrown upon us." And then just one more thing, and inshallah I'll wrap it up. The other day, and I offered Bashir's brother a Quran lesson in case he needed some help. Because the other day he went on Imtiaz's stream and he was reciting this and he made a mistake. قالت ربي أن يكون لي ولد ولم يمسسني بشر قال كذلك الله كذلك الله. He said قال كذلك الله, right? كذلك الله يخلق من يشاء إذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون. And just to help the brother out, he made a mistake. It's okay, we all make mistakes, but we can learn from one another. Even though they're Qadianis, Ahmadis, whatever they want to call themselves, if they're making a mistake in the Quran, I'll at least correct them. At least they're making the effort to maybe learn Arabic, to learn the Quran. And when Ramadan comes around, we appreciate you guys participating with us, although you don't get any benefit, any hasanat, like good deeds, because non-Muslims don't receive good deeds for fasting Ramadan. But thank you for participating. Uh, but Jazakallah khair for both of your brothers' time, efforts, and I would like to apologize to both
It's
of you for being
basically
late. Go ahead, Awis.
yeah, basically it's an azab. Basically, it's an azab of Allah to them. Like they, even though they don't get any good deeds, but they still have got to fast, all the day. So basically, I would say it's an azab of Allah. on them.
They're participating. They get a participation trophy at least. But Jazakallah khair to both of you brothers for joining me.
Yeah.
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.